Greetings everybody, my name is Adam the Parrot and welcome back to Minetopia. Today it is time to work on the tree farm. So I have laid out the foundations here, ready to lay some redstone, and yeah, well actually it's quite hard to work out what goes where just by this, but we'll get to it now anyway. I guess I should also probably explain the parrot head. Yeah, we're kind of stuck with it, and that's because the hardcore event has finally started on the server. Nealey is also playing, so I've got to watch out for him, but I think we hopefully are going to be safe for him since we are doing work for him right now. It's not in his best interest to kill me whilst I'm working on his projects. So I have collected together a bunch of resources that I'm pretty sure we're going to need. So let's just get started with the timing mechanism. So we're going to need the redstone, repeaters, dust I have in my inventory already, and we need some observers as well. And the reason I've got endstone bricks is because we're going to want some more blast resistant stuff a little later on. And we want some of those as well. So let's get started here. We're going to start with a block of redstone here, repeater this way, and redstone dust on here. The reason I'm going with a block at this level rather than just like a torch on here or something is because we want to put the hoppers as low down in this build as possible so that we have as much wood above the hoppers as possible. The wood will be growing on this block, and then we can just take a redstone output here. We're actually going to have a monostable circuit here as well, so we want a sticky piston and then a block there, and I'm also going to have a monostable over here, so we'll do this at the same time. So we want to place the piston there, and then I'm using endstone blocks just to signify that those are where our monostable circuits are. We're also going to want a redstone repeater into here, and then redstone coming out of here. We don't want redstone in there. Out this way. I think we're going to need a repeater here as well. We want to put that in 2 ticks. And then from here we want redstone dust, and then we put down our comparators. One here, one here, one here, one here, and then we want 2 dust there and there. Now we probably also want a repeater, 4 ticks here, and let's put a redstone torch on there. That will invert the signal, which we can take back this way. And we're going to want a bunch of repeaters on a short delay going into that. This, we're also going to want to take more output from here, just like this. Oh, actually, we don't want a redstone dust there. This is where we are going to take a observer reading. And this observer is going to go into a piston, not there. Piston will go here, like so. That is going to retract the block over here this way. And then we're going to have another piston down here. Let's put this, let's see. Yes. Another piston here, which is going to push the block upwards. In order to do this, we want more detector blocks coming down, I think. And then down again. We're going to have to break this. And then across this way. We also want to extend the signal going to this so that we are going to retract the block as well. So we're going to break this block as well, come out this way 1 and across 2. That will go into that block and repeat, power that piston for another redstone tick. So we can test this by simply placing a block, I think. Okay, I think we're missing a repeater here. My mistake. Okay, let's try this again. We break the block, place it. We didn't. I thought we should get a pulse going into here. Maybe let's extend that pulse. Okay, try again. Piston here, we get the pulse going in here. This is a timer that slowly decreases. When this turns off, this turns back on, and you can see this has been pulled across and then up 1. Yeah, perfect. So this signal here is going to go towards the TNT machine, so we're going to also take it underneath here, and we're also going to want a 2-tick delay here as well somewhere. Let's see what we can do. I think let's just put it here. And then we run the redstone line all the way along to here. Yeah, that should do. Wait, is this going to be too long? Yes, it is. Okay, so we're just going to have to move the repeater maybe 3 down. That should be fine. Now, before we get to the TNT machines, I want to fill in this hole because I keep falling in it. So yeah, let's sort that out. First of all, we want to put a redstone torch here, and above that, we're going to want to put a slab. I need to make some because I don't have any currently. Yeah, so slab wants to go. We actually want an upside down slab. Not that it really matters, but it looks a little nicer. Then under the torch, we take redstone just like this. Because it's bending, it won't be powering that, so that is actually going to be fine. And then here we will be putting some droppers. Let's put one facing upwards and then one facing this way. And then we are also going to put a hopper into here. This is where we are going to fill up with bone meal so that you can just stand here and it will automatically refill you. So you can just AFK and just hold right click here. That's basically what's going to happen. We're also going to have a switch where this blue shulker box is. Off of this we're going to place a comparator on subtract mode, redstone repeater into that, and then lay some redstone dust just here. And then of course we're going to want a block above there to make sure that those are not touching each other. So now when we power this block that the blue shulker box is on, this is going to tick repeatedly, which will give us some bone meal. Because the dropper is also next to this block, which will be powered, it also has the nice bonus of when a tree has actually been grown, this is going to temporarily stop dispensing bone meal, so it's not going to waste it. But any excess bone meal will be dropped into the hopper, which will get fed back into the system, which is cool. We're going to place our last dropper facing towards us against this block, and in here is where we are going to be putting the crimson fungus. Of course, you can also switch it out easily for the other kind of fungus. It works with both. I lied. We actually have one more dropper to place down, and that is against here facing upwards. And then with a hopper going into here and then another hopper here, we can place a chest here, which we can fill up even further with our fungus. So you can AFK for long periods of time. Then, of course, we want another repeater going into this so it actually powers our dropper. Now we can simply place down a lever here, and that is our timing system complete. That wasn't actually that bad. But now we have in place 2 chests, one for our bone meal and one for our mushrooms. And this is quite convenient actually, because you can access both of them from here, so you can easily fill them up or work out which one might be empty or whatever, which is cool. But now we can work on getting our signal to go vertically upwards to activate our TNT cannons. Doing this is actually fairly straightforward. All we need to do is add a trapdoor here, and then we're going to use scaffolding to make some instant repeaters, and we want exactly 21 in this position. Now if I grab a lever and come back over here, by powering this redstone line we can see we can activate that trapdoor. When that happens, the state of these scaffolds changes, which sends a update all the way up, so we can now use observers to instantly detect a vertical signal, which is really cool. Go away! Oh, ow. Go away. Ooh, iron. So 21 vertical on that side, we also want 21 vertical on this side, and of course the trapdoor here. It doesn't actually matter which orientation the trapdoor is. We really want to get working on the TNT launchers, but before we do that I want to make sure we don't blow any of this stuff up, so I think we best put in the hoppers and then the water streams to make sure we don't destroy anything too much. We want to make sure that we leave a gap here. This is where we are going to be pushing up the logs that appear down there. And let's see what we are. We're going 1, 2, 3 off in that direction, so let's do the same in this direction as well. Okay, and that's done. Now you might notice there is a gap here, but it's actually fine because the piston will push any items that fall down up. And because there's water running, the items will be pushed very quickly into these hoppers. So yeah, this should prevent anything from blowing up, I hope. So another thing to note is if we're not careful, we can easily have vines growing in this area. So to prevent that, I'm just going to put some trapdoors in places I know redstone signals aren't going to be interfering with them. And this should be enough just to prevent any blocks from spawning in places that they shouldn't. That is actually our output there. So, oh yeah, we've got some junk in there as well. We'll take that. But I'm actually going to put an upside down half slab here because although you could use an iron trapdoor, every time this signal gets activated, it will then flick the iron trapdoor up and down. So It'd just get a bit annoying, so I figure an upside down half slab is actually probably easier. Now we're on to the really fun part. We're going to start with some observers, 2 facing upwards. They're going to detect the signal. And then we're going to take a full block on top of this, and then the piston, sticky piston facing, it's going to point upwards, isn't it? We don't want it pointing upwards, we want it pointing sideways. So let's place it there like that. This is going to be connected to our TNT cannon. We're going to do that in just a second. We need to make sure it's safe first. So next, we want to make sure we've got... let's have a look here. I guess we can put it on this side, actually. We need to take another observer coming from there, and then we want to go sideways against this one. How do I do this? Let's break this and go across a couple. I'm getting used to placing these scaffold finally. Across like that, and then we want to go up 1, 2, and 3. Then we want a block on top of there, and we want redstone. I didn't bring redstone! And then we want redstone on top of there. That's just going to increase the duration that the piston is extended for slightly, which means that the piston will retract the sticky blocks again. Okay, so next I'm going to start building the TNT cannon. We're going to place all that we need except for the actual TNT itself. So we're going to need 3 blocks like so. We're going to put the rail and the minecart on top of there. We're not going to do that yet because we don't want to trigger anything. Then we want a gap, and then we want sticky blocks like this. Probably easier if we come down here. We can then place sticky blocks below as well. On top of this block is where we place the coral, and then next to this we want a stone wall. Next we need to place our obsidian, which is going to guide the TNT in place. We need 3 blocks like this. This is going to make sure that the TNT is correctly aligned. And we want 2 blocks here, 2 blocks here, 2 blocks here. Put a sign at the back here. We want an end stone slab here. And some more obsidian. We want obsidian over the top as well to make sure that we are correctly timing this. Obsidian. And we also want to extend that downward slightly. Yeah, perfect. Then we place our water stream, and this will make sure that our TNT is correctly timed for exploding right at the bottom. Okay, I can't resist. We're going to have to try it out. Let's go. TNT on here, activator rail there, minecart on here, and now let's get down carefully without activating anything. And now all we need to do is grow a tree, and hopefully it will be partially blown up. Let's give it a try. Okay, placing the plant, growing the plant. Let's step back and see what happens. Oh yes. Okay, so it's now primed. We need to activate it once more in order to actually do this. So we get dispensed another one, plant it, bone meal it. Here we go. It's been launched. Perfect. That's awesome. I love it. Now you'll notice we haven't actually blown out any wood blocks, and that's because we've only set up 1 TNT cannon. We need 2 on this side, 2 on that side, and then I think I'll put a 5th one on this side. Oh no, why? It looks like since we've updated the server, because we're running a paper server, not a true vanilla server, they've fixed the duping bug. You can actually enable it again in the settings because it's a paper fix, not a vanilla fix. So I need to restart the server. But people are playing right now, so I think I'll just have to wait until later. For now, I'm just going to continue building the rest of this build, though. The other 4 TNT cannons are now in, and let's give this thing a test. It's pretty cool. So we've got these labeled as well. We've got the bone meal there, fungus there, and this is labeled our output chest. I'm not sure what Nealey wants to do with this, but he gets loads and loads of nether wart from this, so he could probably feed this into some composters and turn it back into bone meal. This will basically be self-sufficient, and we'll probably end up making excess bone meal as well, which would be pretty cool. Anyway, all we need to do is hold right-click on here, And this should grow. Let's try and escape so we can see the TNT. That will fall, blow up, and the final one, boom! Now you'll notice there is a bit of the tree right at the top that gets left there, and I don't really think there's much we can do about that. I thought we could probably add one more TNT cannon here, but there's a risk that it would end up blowing up these TNT cannons. So I don't know. I would suggest we probably keep it like that and just accept that there's potentially going to be up to 3 or 4 logs lost at the top there. But it gets a decent amount of the rest of the tree, and even if there's some blocks like here that are left, in the next run they will be blown up by the TNT cannons, which is pretty cool. Let's do it again. Hold right click, and we're out of bone meal. Of course we are. Okay, there we go. Let's grow this. There we go, and watch it blow up again. Oh, we got a decent sized tree that time. The lower ones will blow up most of the logs, and then that final TNT at the end will blow up any logs that happens to remain. Now, it looks like there's 3 logs there that managed to survive. If we can go again, I think that should delete them all. That should blow them up. Perfect. Well, I suppose this thing isn't 100% perfect. You're not going to get 100% of the drops every single time, but it is pretty good. I'm fairly happy with it, and I hope Nealey is as well. I've also left these maintenance scaffolds up so that you can come up to check out the TNT dupers, just in case for some reason the TNT ends up igniting properly and drops and you need to reset it. It's easy to get up here and do that. I suppose the scaffold is also useful if you see that there's loads of, say, shroom lights up here and you want to harvest those. But that is all we have time for this episode. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you've enjoyed. It's been a bit of a shorter one, and that is because today, as this video is coming out, we will be streaming on YouTube and on Twitch. So if you're around, come join us for that. It should be fun. We will not be playing Minecraft. We will be playing the new Super Mario 3D All-Stars, which has released today. I'm very excited to have a play. But with that said, thank you once again for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. See you later.